Today I'm going to be reviewing the Drevo Calibur wireless mechanical keyboard. Now just to start off, yes, this keyboard is only about $50, and that $50 gets you RGB backlighting, mechanical switches that are pretty decent, and Bluetooth 4.0, so you do not have to be plugged into anything at all to use this keyboard. Now you won't be getting any dedicated macro keys on this keyboard, nor you'll be getting a number pad, but you do get the basic keyboard layout, and for most people this is going to be fine, especially if you're using most laptops nowadays. They don't really have a number pad anyway, and when you're using this keyboard wirelessly, the latency is actually pretty good. There's not a bunch of lag or anything like that. It seems to work just fine. I have been experiencing some disconnection issues with my computer, but that's mostly because the Bluetooth in my computer has been finicky for the past few days. I don't know why that is. Though I did notice that if I turned off the keyboard and turned it back on, I would have to manually reconnect it to my computer. Though if I turned off my computer and left the keyboard on and then rebooted my computer, it would connect automatically, no issues. Now according to Drevo, the battery life on this keyboard is about 20 hours of continuous usage. So that should last most people a few weeks, if not more. It's decent amount of battery life. I would say it could have been more, especially for a peripheral device where you really don't want to have to connect this thing back onto your computer, especially if you're using it wirelessly a lot. Now, as far as build quality goes, this is complete plastic build, but it is nice and hefty. It does have some weight to it, so it does feel a little bit more premium. The plastic is also kind of a nice thicker plastic, so you don't really feel like you can bend it or snap it really easily. Now, I picked up the red switches, which are linear, silent, and they work just as advertised, no problems at all. Though I have noticed that with the red switches, I really do pay more attention to how plasticky the keys feel. I think if you maybe got the blue switches, I'd kind of be combative a little bit because you get a nice click every time you click down on them, so you wouldn't really be paying too much attention to the plasticky feel, just to the clickiness of it. Like I said, there is RGB backlighting in this keyboard, but unlike Razer's Chroma products or maybe Corsair's newer keyboards, you're not getting millions and millions of different color options. You're getting only 7. And while that may be a bummer for some people, honestly, I think most people will be fine with just 7 color options. And you still get your nice cool RGB lighting effects like you can find on most keyboards out there today. So on the Drevo Calibur, you get effects like breathing, waves, a cool effect called snake that just kind of crawls through your keyboard, lighting each row individually. And you can also do custom lighting effects as well, but the weird thing about this keyboard is there's no additional software to do this. So if you want to do any custom lighting effects, you actually have to use the built-in macro functions that Drevo put into the keyboard already. And personally, I prefer this over having to download additional software just to handle the coloring of my keyboard. You can just do it directly on the keyboard, no problems at all, on the fly too, whenever you want to. And it's pretty easy and seamless to switch between different lighting effects on your keyboard. There's a quick start guide that comes with the keyboard in the box, and it lets you know what different macro keys you need to input to it in order to switch between these different effects. The only real downside to this, if you're looking to do some really elaborate per key lighting effect, you're gonna have to go through each individual key and cycle through their colors, because in order to change color, you have to click down the key to cycle through the 7 color options as well as off, and find which one you want for each individual key. And I think there's about 71 keys on this keyboard, so that could be annoying after a while. And another downside to this keyboard is you're never really gonna know how much battery life you have left until it's about to die. There's absolutely no status indicator lights on this keyboard at all, and if you're using a Windows PC, it doesn't let you know how much battery your Bluetooth devices have. So you're gonna be kind of a guessing game until it's about to die, honestly. And then when it is about to die, it will be a red blinking light on your space bar, and while it's charging, it'll be a green blinking light. But I did forget to mention that you can use this keyboard wired as well. So if you hate Bluetooth connections and you don't want to have to deal with wireless connections at all, you can just plug it in with a USB cord that's included in the box to use it wired mode as well. So it does turn itself off after a few minutes of inactivity to save yourself some battery, so you don't have to go in there and manually turn the keyboard on and off whenever you think you're not going to use it for a long period of time. And you can actually pair this keyboard with 3 different devices at the same time. There's 3 keys with a Bluetooth label on them, and you can easily switch between them. Though an annoying side effect to this is when you have it connected to Bluetooth, the key that it is connected to will remain white the entire time. It will not have any custom lighting effects on it. It will not play any effects through that key. It's just going to remain white the entire time, and there's no way you can change this. And this happens to the caps lock key as well. No matter what happens, it will not react to any other color effects. It will remain one solid color to let you know that it's on or off. These effects are there to help you know whether or not you're connected to Bluetooth or whether or not your cap lock is on or off, and it could be helpful, but at the same time, it kind of ruins the aesthetic of having these nice RGBs in the back of them. And the RGB lights are very, very bright, very nice. No complaints here, honestly, except for the white. The white coloring is a bit bluish in tint, so that's a bit off. But that doesn't really bother me too much. Maybe it'll bother you, but for me, I didn't really care. So honestly, for $50, I think this is one of the best keyboards you can get for the money. You get nice RGB lighting, you get Bluetooth connection, and you get nice, decent key switches. You also get a good variety of key switches to choose from. Again, I have the red switches, but you can also get blue switches, which I think I'm gonna end up getting eventually. This is just a review model. I think I'm gonna end up buying myself the blue switches because I really do like that tactile clickiness. And then you can also get brown switches and black switches, though I think they're stock is all over the place. So get it when you can. Whenever you see it on stock, definitely buy this because I definitely think this is worth the money. And before I forget, here's a quick typing test on the Drevo Calibur red switches. So anyway guys, that was my review. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful in helping you decide whether or not you should invest in this keyboard. I definitely think it's worth it. I am going to pick one up for myself. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below whether or not you think you should buy this keyboard or maybe you find another affordable mechanical keyboard that I should check out. But as always, my name is Joshua Jomios. Stay sexy and I'll see you sometime.